That's almost like if a clown came up to me and was like, you ain't seen nothing yet. Okay. I have so many whipped cream pies. All right. That guy, that idiot over there, that was nothing.
Hey, you see that VW bug sitting parked by the curb? See it double parked right there? There are 60,000 cream pies in that. And you best not. You best not, or else. Well, listener, as well as you are looking today, it brings me no pleasure to bring to you some rather unfortunate news. It's an awkward point in any creative partnership when things go awry. There's some differences. And so Mark is not with us this week. He is on vacation. But joining me instead for a very special episode of Character Select is my lovely wife, Tay.
Hey, everybody. I'm not Mark, but I'm definitely a girl.
That's the scales are in equal balance because of those two things of equal value.
If you're sick of hearing two guys talk just for a half hour,
which really was a rare thing. Where were you going to find that on the internet?
I mean, nowhere else.
Nowhere else.
So now, here only, nowhere else on the internet.
Exactly.
You get to hear a guy and a girl talking.
Finally.
Equality.
I'm really excited to have you with me today, Tay. Here on Character Select, we take a break from making real video games, which I'm usually doing with Mark.
I thought I was making real... Okay, yeah, I'm out. See ya.
Tay's out. It's just me now. We take a break from making real video games to make a fake video game character with a ridiculous backstory and gameplay mechanics, and the way that we're coming up with that is 3 index cards that we have each written on that we're going to show each other. 3 ideas each the other person doesn't know about. You've listened to the show.
All.
You're that one
Episodes.
download that keeps showing up in our
because
in
I
our list.
genuinely enjoy what I'm listening to. I don't just do it because I'm your wife, which you show me things and I start listening to them because I'm your wife, but I keep listening to it because I actually enjoy it and think it's hilarious.
There you have it, folks. An unbiased opinion.
4.5 stars.
Thank you.
Out of 5.
Thank you. Well, Tay, as our guest, our very special guest today,
I'm not that special.
in your own home, would you like to give us your first idea?
I am so excited to give you my first idea.
Okay.
Without any further ado. Taunts exclusively with Steve Harvey quotes. We're coming for you again, Miss Columbia.
Oh, man. You know, Steve Harvey has taken a lot of beatings verbally.
But not enough.
But not enough.
Women. And now that I have my platform.
Finally. She's coming for you, SH. So what are some things that he said? Can you give me a little brush up? Because I know he's said a lot of them.
Oh, so many things.
I know one of the things he says.
In such a way.
We shouted a lot.
Many times.
Yeah.
And one extremely beloved quote.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, women have stopped setting the bar high.
Oh, that's something he said.
Oh, that's something he said.
Oh, women gave up.
Women
according
gave
to
up.
him. I'm not sure about that. Alexa doesn't even think.
She does not agree.
Right.
But okay, how about the pull string, the other pull string quote saying rather of the Steve Harvey doll?
I'm sorry, but like what you have pulled up are like the inspirational quote Instagram text art squares of Steve Harvey quotes. Like instead of saying never give up, trust your instincts, it's all Steve Harvey stuff.
Well, how about this beloved Steve Harvey quote? Ready? I'm not really a relationship expert, but I'm an expert on manhood and what men think.
Oh, okay.
So, honey, just remember, he's right all the time.
Yeah.
You and your thoughts, they're wrong. You're a man, but that doesn't mean that you have man thoughts.
Okay. I'm going to be going to him for all my advice.
Exactly.
From here on out. Hopefully he'll hear me. So our game character is going to be taunting with such statements as these.
Exactly.
I'm already furious and am actively taunted at our fictional character.
I mean, this is the way that I'm picturing it. Before you start a Super Smash Brawl, you taunt to like respect the other person
Exactly.
that you're playing.
Yeah.
And in this instance, it's like the proverbial bow of like, here is a Steve Harvey quote for you. Let's commence battle.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it is the ultimate blessing one can receive.
Yeah.
Is this, you know, misogynistic, super biased old jerk.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah.
Who's a talk show host.
And even like mechanically, a taunt typically just pulls someone exclusively away from whatever they were doing to deliberately. So it's like, huh? What? Did someone just say what I think they just said? That is perfect.
Steve Harvey versus Miss Columbia. Not again.
That's wonderful. Do you mind if I introduce an idea so that we get some chemistry?
Please.
We stir some pots. All right.
Let's do it.
My first idea is, has a mug that says "World's Greatest Final Boss."
Oh my gosh. I really want that actually as a mug.
Yeah. If it doesn't exist, let's make it.
Oh my gosh. Let's do that. Okay. I'm loving this. So far, I feel like Steve Harvey would have that mug.
Yeah.
Even if he had no idea what that meant, which I'm guessing like 90% of the time he has no idea what he's doing.
Sure.
So giving him that gift would be completely appropriate. And he'd be like, yeah, this makes sense.
Sure.
I deserve this.
Sure. I'm the final boss. No idea what that means.
He's like, I am boss. So yes, I would be the final boss.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about our boss, our final boss? Or
so this
how would you
character
incorporate this? Yeah.
is a final boss.
Sure.
Steve Harvey quotes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's sounding maniacal and he's sounding dangerous to me. So I'm picturing a big guy.
Yeah.
How about you?
A real Bowser type.
Yeah, you know, I'm going there.
Bowser archetype.
I'm definitely going there with you.
Yeah.
I can see this happening.
One who cares for his minions, right? Bowser's really just sending out the Koopas and the Goombas and not really with wanton disregard for their life.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
This is a guy who's like health insurance, 401k, like paid sick leave. He's just the world's greatest final boss. Like his minions are like, you know, morally, ethically, this guy is terrible, but it's a wonderful employment opportunity.
Interesting.
He really just takes care of us.
Interesting. You know, that is so rare to find in the world. I'm starting to reconsider and think that I should be working for a final boss if I'm going to find any happiness in life.
Exactly. How about your second idea? We can keep the stirring stirring.
Shoots yarn from wrists. So makes you a marvelous sweater if you're a villain.
Oh, okay.
Wraps you up in a nice sweater.
Your idea is shoots yarn from his wrists.
Right, like Spider-Man
style,
except, you know, he makes you just a fantastic sweater.
So that the wrist shooting is also like it's got a knitting action to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, forget the needles.
Right.
You don't need them. He just like, you know, pearls and weaves and like cross stitching and all, you know, the whole nine. Makes you a really nice grandma type sweater. It's so cozy.
I'm really starting to understand how he's the world's greatest final boss.
I do too. Yeah. Because like Stitch with Love is like on his throw pillows and Get Your Stitch Fix or something. You know, like other really corny things that would go along with like a little wine for the food, a little wine for the final boss.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like those would be that makes sense why he would have this mug too.
We already have like at least 3 grandmas that we've made in Character Select. So I'll refrain from making it a grandma because it's a little too on the nose anyway.
It is.
And cool people use yarn to make things.
Exactly.
You don't have to be a grandma.
Oh, exactly. Thank you.
So I'm thinking that if this character is a final boss of a game who's made our way into our competitive multiplayer arena, then, you know, that we need to be thinking in what is the opposite? I mean, what threat has he been posing as a yarn wrist shooting final boss? Maybe the protagonist to his antagonist in this situation is like an alpaca or someone who's being sheared for their yarn, right?
I love this.
And he's just, I'm not going to take it anymore.
You know, the town that we live in, actually, like every couple seasons, I will suddenly go through town and like everything will have yarn on it. Lampposts, the trees, like it'll be overnight. Sort of the way like Girl Scouts like overnight, like a gang like just spray paint the stores and like the next day.
You know those evil Girl Scout gangs?
They're there. And it's like, you know, Troop 404, you know, and it's like they blasted the walls. And then I go through my town and there's yarn on everything. So it's like her calling card.
Yeah.
Almost like she's just left her calling card through town.
Right.
And like she threatens all the alpacas with it. Like, look what I have done.
Shearing you next.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though shearing's, I'm guessing, a fairly ethical situation. In the realm of games, like, you don't have to do much to set someone off on an 8-world adventure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like in Yoshi's Woolly World. Okay. She would have knitted this world.
Yeah.
But, you know, all the alpacas that have sacrificed for it are like, okay, we hate Yoshi's Woolly World. What the heck? We would rather be playing anything else.
Yeah, they're the architect of a Yoshi's Woolly World situation, and they've let the power go to their head. But they're also making really nice sweaters. All right. So are you ready for my second idea?
Yeah, because now that we have a protagonist in the works, we can sort of see where this is going to go next.
Where it's going. This is probably the longest card I've ever written, but there's kind of only one word that's really operative in it.
Okay.
If you strike me down, I will become a more powerful juggler than you could possibly imagine.
And, okay, this is what I love about this show is all these little things that seem so terrible and awful and like they cannot possibly work together always somehow work out in the end. And that is so awesome. I love that. And I love imagining the character in the end.
Well, thank you.
And, okay, so I really want to see this person juggle. Like,
I mean,
juggling yarn balls.
Right.
Okay.
And I mean, you can take this how you want. They might not be the most powerful juggler yet, but if you strike them down, they will be. That's a threat you can count on.
That's almost like if a clown came up to me and was like, you ain't seen nothing yet. Okay. I have so many whipped cream pies. All right. That guy, that idiot over there, that was nothing.
Hey, you see that VW bug sitting parked by the curb? See it double parked right there? There are 60,000 cream pies in that. And you best not. You best not, or else.
It is my personal dream. And you can verify this. To be hit in the face with a whipped cream pie. I don't have big dreams, people. Okay?
We recently celebrated our 5-year wedding anniversary, and I actually, meant to...
Roommates for life.
Do that.
You meant to hit me in the face with a whipped cream pie?
I meant to do that, and I have yet to do it.
Oh my gosh, honey, I love you. But instead, you got me tickets to an orchestra.
Yeah.
And I love you for that. But now I'm a little angry, actually.
I'm sorry.
Knowing what could have been.
I'm sorry for doing something nice instead of hitting you with a pie.
Divorce. It's been a great 5 years, but now that I know what could have been.
The regret setting in. So our character could be, I like that, is juggling yarn balls. So maybe that's just an extra ability of theirs, is they can only shoot yarn from their wrists every so often, maybe. So they just kind of keep some yarn.
Okay.
Some hot yarn.
There you go.
Keep it in the air. Hot yarn.
Somehow that grossed me out.
Yeah.
It has no reason to, but it did.
Perfectly rational.
Ew, hot yarn. Which, like, a sweater right out of the dryer is like heaven to me.
That's wonderful.
So I don't know how hot yarn is gross.
But the individual pieces of it, yeah. This is good.
I'm loving this. Okay, so, like, threatening with juggling balls, though, I think helps make this villain come off more like a mind games villain instead of like the obvious like Bane, for instance, obviously disturbing villain of Batman,
right,
but not as obviously disturbing Batman villain, the Riddler
or Calendar Man.
Exactly, thank you. Or Penguin. I mean, come on, seriously, people, how is this guy a threat? You could tip him over like a bowling pin. Okay, anyways. No, but I'm loving where this is going. This is great.
So maybe it's time for your third idea.
And
we get into the nitty-gritties.
Nitty with a K. Oh, Air 5. Yeah.
Actual 5.
Oh, yeah.
Deserves it. I think we already named our character.
That high five, I think, was so loud and powerful that our listeners are jealous and wish they could have been involved in that. Okay, ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm pulling it together. Okay. Licks finger to test the wind before he takes a shot every single time.
Sir, with all due respect, I know. I just got to do it again.
There is no rapid fire for this guy.
Oh, no.
Because it is always test the wind. Test the wind.
Also, he's juggling.
Oh, my stomach hurts.
Yeah.
Every single time. So, like, he can't even shoot.
Right.
The webs, he has to, like, lick and test which way the wind is and then shoot.
Sir, I got you a gift. It's an automatic wind test. I don't trust it.
But, like, the other thing, too, is, like, his weapon is completely not needing that
right,
at all.
ever.
Like, if someone had a gun and was just testing for the wind before, like, shooting a cannon.
Right.
Test the wind.
Yeah.
Like...
This is great because he is a villain, like a game boss who's telegraphing his moves. It's like, oh, see what he's doing? Like, there's a few frames here where he's going to lick his finger, and then he's going to start, like, you're okay for a few seconds. That's great.
And it's one of those quirks that even his minions are like, oh my god, he is such a numbskull. But he's the world's best final boss.
Right, he is. And
so you can't hate him that much.
So our character, the gameplay loop, as it were, of our character is a character juggling yarn balls, then licking his finger, testing the wind, and saying something inanely stupid that Steve Harvey has previously said.
The problem is women have stopped setting the bar high. Test the wind, shoot some yarn.
Sir, are you going to throw that yarn at women?
You are never too old to reinvent yourself. Test the wind, shoot some yarn.
It's true in his case. He went from comedian ? Maybe to a living old meme.
He went from bald man to bald man. No change.
With a mustache. Ready for my third idea?
Oh, I'm so excited. Ever.
My third idea. My third idea is fell in love with the lady on the Cholula bottle.
Oh. Yes. I could absolutely see that happening. Especially you, like, loving hot sauce as much as you do.
That's how we met, it was a really funny story.
So funny.
You were on a hot sauce bottle.
I was.
Yeah. When we met.
Yeah.
Beautiful moment. I have an idea. Well, no, this is your idea to sort of toss around, juggle in the air as one would with ideas.
What I'm picturing is like this really quirky individual who actually like never gets up from their desk.
Oh.
Like, I'm picturing someone who, yes, okay, they test the wind, like, every single time before they shoot yarn.
Yeah.
And they're like, you haven't seen anything yet regarding my juggling skills. Like, this person hasn't really gotten out very much.
Right.
They have the mug with the saying, they're in love with the woman on the Cholula bottle. Like, they say Steve Harvey quotes. Like, I'm literally picturing someone in a retirement home.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like knitwear for everyone in the home. This falling in love with the woman on the Cholula bottle. It's like they've written a story in their head about her and they're just set on it. You know?
Yeah.
Besides, she brings the spice in their life. She's the only thing that brings some spice in their life.
I have an addendum that calls for a stinger that you initially suggested, and had I been able to like plan ahead a little bit more of our recording, I would have presented to you as a final recorded gift to you.
Oh.
But I will say tragic backstory.
Yes.
If you'll remember from like episode 2 or 3, I did say that the architect of the tragic backstory stinger that we have yet to make 13 episodes later.
I want this on the record that I would like that on my grave, please.
Tragic.
Originator of tragic backstory. 3 T's.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, what's the deal with this gravestone? Oh, it's actually a really sad story. My tragic backstory idea is that our character was a very good person, genuinely.
Seems like it.
Creating worlds, and just like, one day I'm going to meet her. As a bottle of Cholula fell to the ground and shattered, it was fitting because he also learned that it was not a real person. And his dreams were shattered. Hey, can I ask you a question? Is that a woman on the bottle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can't really tell sometimes.
As a woman, from one...
We go to our resident woman expert. So we have everything out on the table here. A lot of quirks, a lot of lovable evil doings, right?
Nothing like physical about this being.
Right. We don't know who or what they are. What is the opposite of an alpaca?
Oh.
Something with...
I don't know. I'm being lazy right now. Maybe like a crab because their hands are like shears, like snip, snip, snip.
Hey.
You know?
Yeah.
But like, how would they...
Oh, they can lick. They can lick their finger.
They can lick. Okay,
yeah.
But also their hands being like, they snip the knitting at the end and like they still shoot yarn from their claws.
I'm with you. It's a giant enemy crab. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sorry guys. It's like so... Is that lame? I don't know.
No, I like crab. Crab is perfect.
All right.
Crab is perfect.
Crab.
And so we have a giant crab.
In what world would they even meet? Like...
Still in love with the Cholula bottle lady.
Like the llama fell down Machu Picchu all the way to the bottom.
To a knitted world. To a knitted ecosystem.
To the knitted hell below.
Yeah. So he's gameplay. We've got a few abilities. He's juggling the yarn, which is helping him in some way. I don't want to say distracting because we already have a taunt in place where they're just saying things that Steve Harvey would.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a fake out kind of thing with Steve Harvey. Like they're calling La La Land instead of Moonlight. They're saying Miss Columbia instead of whoever else it was. Because honestly, I don't remember who actually won in that situation.
Oh my gosh, like before he hits his enemy, he like calls out the wrong name of another enemy.
Right.
And is like, da-da-da-da-da, Steve Harvey, quote, at you, alpaca number 9. And like instead it's alpaca number 10.
I'm sorry.
And I mean, to add insult to injury, yarn is coming out of his claws.
Yeah.
He's making them sweaters when he hits them.
Right.
So, like, they're sheared, and then he puts their hair, or he puts their fur, what is it? He puts their fluff back on them.
Wool?
Is it? He puts their alpaca. Their alpaca fluff.
Their alpaca.
He puts their alpaca wool back on them in the form of his own design.
Yeah.
His own sweater design with like little...
He's a fashion dictator.
Stitchings and...
Right. I have a good idea of gameplay-wise because I have to kind of fill the role of Mark thinking of how these things mechanically work this week.
Right.
So he's a bit of a slow mover himself because he's constantly licking his claw and checking the wind. Like, he can't chase someone down. He's got to stay pretty. But once he's knitted a sweater at you, you start to slow down yourself because you're like, oh, it's a nice, warm, cozy sweater. I could take a nap right here.
You start, like, admiring the stitching in it. Like, you slow down to admire the stitching. Wow, that is some nice cross-stitching.
Is that houndstooth? And then he goes, survey says... We're getting by remarkably with very little knowledge of Steve Harvey.
Yes, it's true.
There's so little that we know about him, yet we know so much.
Oh, so much.
Yeah, so we have I think he should be kind of wearing a sweater too. Are we still okay, my dear wife, with his name being Nitty Gritty?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is the best.
Yeah. I think that's pretty good.
Nitty Gritty. Especially because... crabs, like, they're gritty.
They're gritty folks.
That's why you gotta dip them in butter.
It's true. Get rid of all the grit.
Get all that grit out.
So
True grit. True knit.
True knit.
Oh, your audience is gonna hate me.
Jeff Bridges is true knit. So after we record this and before you hear it, I will be illustrating Nitty Gritty. And, as a special treat, my dear wife Taylor shall be writing a bio for Nitty Gritty.
Because I am actually a writer, guys.
Hey. So you can head over to Character Design Forge on YouTube if you're not there already to see that art time lapse and the bio and the gameplay mechanics and all the stuff that we have written up for him. If you'd like to support the show, you can rate and review us on iTunes. Little 5-star, little 4-star, little 4.5-star.
This affects a family, guys.
2 families. And if you'd like to
How hard is it to put a star?
local woman harassed for
No,
berating an audience.
I am a local harasser.
If you'd like to financially support the show, you can go to patreon.com/bageldenizen. Tay needs a new pair of, not shoes. You don't really buy many shoes.
Oh my gosh, I don't buy anything.
Yeah.
You know what? We could go with eating and also staying in this house.
Hey, that's cool.
So...
If you want us to not live in a cardboard box, you can go to patreon.com/bageldenizen. You get new episodes of the show a week early. You get access to a bunch of other stuff from the Character Design Forge side of things.
Yes.
Tay, it was so nice to have you.
It was so great to be on. Seriously.
I was really excited to have you on.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have you back, if not as like a third member too.
Oh.
Along with Mark would be great.
Oh, I hope so. I hope I would be welcomed back by the audience too. That would be super awesome. But I have honestly like dreamed of this moment as I sit down below and I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? This would be funny. That would be funny. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And now I'm here and it's been pretty sweet. I'll tell you that much.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so as you watch the art time-lapse for Nitty Gritty, here is the bio that Tay has written up for him. An especially proactive llama, one that makes its way through 7 worlds of yarn spikes and hazardous yarn weather, is in for a surprise once they've reached the 8th. Drawing in the reassuring scent of his coffee, steaming from his world's best final boss mug, Nitty Gritty meditated on the timeless words of Steve Harvey, "It's never too late to reinvent yourself." Nitty clipped off a new line of yarn from another lowlife llama and furled up a giant yarn ball, a perfect third to his yarn ball juggling set. Glistening black eyes, like 2 little beads, lightened upon their target. Licking and lifting his claw to the wind, he aimed for the finicky little alpaca he now saw cresting a yonder hill, an alpaca that dared to challenge his precious coffee mug mantra.